And welcome to another presentation on MuleSoft. And today in this presentation, we are going to talk about IoT and how MuleSoft fit into that. So IoT is Internet of Things. Internet of Things means we are moving from our traditional devices to smart and connected devices. So one of the example of Internet of Things could be your home devices, your all home devices like your fan, your lights, your refrigerator, your TV, and everything. All these devices now will be or can be controlled via remote management, and they can adjust to your requirement, and most of the time they can adjust themselves to save electricity or to adjust themselves for your favorites. So uh, through Internet of Things, we are moving from a plain traditional old devices to a smart connected devices where all the devices will interact with each other. There will be a sensor which will send a signal to the remote management, and a remote server can give the instruction to either switch on off or adjust the devices. One good example could be your AC or heater unit in your home. So what happen if you are not at the home, and device sensor can sense that and adjust the temperature to save the electricity. So this is one of the benefit, or this is the one of the example of Internet of Things. So what Internet of Things did is it introduces a new middle layer is called the edge layer. Now the edge layer sits right in between the device sensor to the remote server, and it helps you to create a binding between these two. Now the devices can talk to the edge layer, and edge layer gives you abstraction, which in turn connect with the remote server. We'll see in the next slide how the edge layer works and how edge layer make it easier to connect different devices. Now why edge layer is required? Because uh, we have more number of devices which will connect to the internet or connect to the cloud or connect to the edge layer. Now all these devices, which will increase in the number in coming days, will consume the internet bandwidth. So we have to make sure that there should be edge layer which will control how much a communication is required from a client to the server. So let's see how the edge layer looks like. So this is the typical edge layer, or a MuleSoft and IoT architecture diagram could be. So on the left side here you can see we have a client layer. Client layer could be your any devices, sensor, or it could be anything. It could be a car, it could be a refrigerator, it could be any devices which will sit at the client layer. Now from client layer, uh, as I told you, there will be an edge layer. So this edge layer can be easily created with MuleSoft, and it will act like abstraction between the devices and the server. This whole part here is the server, and the blue part where you can see this and these three things can be implemented via MuleSoft. So the edge layer will take all the pain of sending the signal or sending the data from client to the server. It include the connectivity, routing, and all the events which the devices send. So from edge layer you can send data to the server layer, which contain the all the execution or the remote management part. So let's quickly see what is the advantage of edge layer. Now edge layer, as I told you, act as a filtering to reduce the data. So as I told you, we don't want to send too much data, or want to utilize too much bandwidth of internet while sending data to the server. So it control what are the data which is necessary to be sent to the server, and of course it will protect failure. So in case like if there will be any connectivity failure from uh, client to the server, it will hold the data for some time being kind of a cache, and it will forward the data once the connectivity is established. So there is a failover mechanism which edge layer have. Now you can connect different devices from different platform. Like for example, in your home, if you have a switch, or if you have a bulb of one company and then you have a heater of some other company or some other vendor, you can connect all those devices through edge layer. So edge layer abstraction gives you option to connect different devices from different vendors. And of course, I told you the last point is abstraction, very important. Like when we have so many devices, and each devices will have a different hardware or architecture, edge layer will act as a single point of abstraction. You connect all your devices to it, and in turn it will talk to the server. Now the one big question is how MuleSoft is going to fit into all this architecture. So as I told you, these three layers, like the edge layer and the server layer, in the edge layer, it will act as a complete component of edge layer. So MuleSoft can give you option, or MuleSoft can directly be embedded into the IoT devices. Now let's talk about the server part. So the server part is where you will have all the interaction, all the remote management, all the adjustment, and you will manage all your devices from here. So we'll have two layer, which is API layer and data plane layer. These two layer can be easily created using MuleSoft. So in API layer, you already know we create different kind of function within server to, for example, here we can identify the device, we can access management, like what type of, whether the client has the access to to the end devices. So end devices could be anything from SAS, enterprise application, data cloud. So before the client talk to the end devices, you can put an API, and you can manage all the connection, and if there is any filtering, if there is any authentication. So all those function can be easily managed via MuleSoft. Now at the same time, the data plane will, which will also contain some logic, like the connection, or what are the protocols to connect with the devices, route, message in reach, publish. So this type of function MuleSoft already have. So MuleSoft can be used in data plane layer to talk to the end server. Now let's quickly see one of the example which I have created, which we can achieve using IoT, Internet of Things, and MuleSoft. So my example is smart home. Now when we talk about smart home, in our home we have a tons of appliances and devices. One of the example could be your switches, your doors, your alarm, your AC, your heater, and there are other applications. Now we want these devices to, from a normal devices to a smart connected devices. For example, let me give you one example. I am sitting in my theater room, and I went and said play movie. That's one of the function which I want. Now, once when I say play movie, it's not only about starting a movie. I want other devices to act based on this requirement. For example, when the TV will start and it will start playing movie, I want my bulbs to be dimmed. I want my curtain to be closed, and I want my AC or refrigerator, or heating unit, or the AC unit to adjust accordingly. So all these devices, based on one of the trigger, it will go to the server, and from the server there will be remote management which will adjust all the devices and can give you a wonderful experience. One of the example could be alarms. Now if you have alarm at your home, So once if there is any incident which happened at your house, in that case alarm will trigger itself, and in turn alarm will also send message or alert the nearest law enforcement agency. So you can see there are a lot of devices in our home which needs to be connected and act on itself. Or uh, one of the latest example could be your garage unit in your home. So the moment it says that okay, you are going to reach or you are maybe half kilometer away from your uh, garage, it will sense that and will start opening automatically, and once you're in, it will close itself. So these are the some of the example in which, like, using internet of things, we can make our home a smart home. And through smart home, uh, all these ordinary old traditional devices can be made into the smart, well connected devices which will try to do or try to learn from you and then adjust itself. And of course, when I say IoT services, we have backend cloud services, other backend data which help you to connect, manage, and remotely manage your devices. So as I said, how MuleSoft fits into the IoT is, Mule engine can be made it into the IoT devices. So if you see diagram here, you can see we have a API layer. So this whole API layer can be easily created with the MuleSoft. So the Mule engine can be embedded into IoT device and help you to connect and manage the devices. Of course, it includes the data integrity and abstraction. So as I told you, when you have so many devices, you need some medium or some abstraction layer which will help you to connect in real time and synchronize the data using a layer which can also be created using the edge layer, which also MuleSoft can achieve. So using MuleSoft, we can convert normal devices into the smart connected devices, and of course, it act as a uh, intermediary or in between the sensor and the backend device and controller. At any point, communicates to device via protocol. So because these devices connect with the remote management server, so we have various protocol like HTTP, TCP, ZigBee to connect, manage, and control these devices. Now, when I say remote management, it include any kind of devices. It can be devices at home, it can be a desktop, it can be a kiosk, it can be a point of sale, or it can be any other item which a client can interact. So I hope this small presentation help you to understand how the Internet of Things works and how MuleSoft fits into the whole picture. I hope you to see again in the coming video. Thank you very much for listening me, and you have a wonderful day.